Okay, great. I'd like to thank you all for attending the Career Search Strategies using Social Media with LinkedIn. Okay. I'm very happy and excited to have my friend Ryan Zervacos with us today. He comes from LinkedIn and he is the Senior Account Director with over 15 years at LinkedIn. Very happy to have you. Many of his clients are higher education, UC San Diego being one of them. My name is Roxy Farkas. I'm with UC San Diego's Business and Legal Extended Studies program. And we're very happy to have Ryan here today. He works a lot closely with the LinkedIn recruiters, the LinkedIn Talent Insights group, and definitely works with colleges and universities. So he will be talking about branding, building your portfolio on LinkedIn, and how to connect with industry and recruiters. Thank you very much, Ryan, for we're so happy to have you today, and let's go ahead and get started. If I left anything out, feel free to share.
No, I appreciate that. I haven't been here quite 15 years, though. I would love to. My goal is to be here that long, but I've been here about 6. I've been in 15 years in online learning. So I really enjoy the vertical and enjoy working with colleges and universities, and I appreciate the invite here today. So what I'd like to do today is really cover 4 topics, and I want to answer any questions that you may have. So if you didn't hear, I have a couple monitors. So feel free to drop it in the chat or shout it out, raise your hand. I'd love to be more interactive with this conversation. I'm going to start the conversation with really some background on LinkedIn, because a lot of people don't know what LinkedIn does and why we do it. And I think it's really important to level set that. And then from there, I'll jump into LinkedIn and show you, what I think is the best way to use your profile and to create your story. Then we'll talk about networking, because networking is super important. And then finally, we'll talk about content and sharing content on LinkedIn. And of course, happy to answer any questions that you may have. What I do is I go through and I actually show real world examples, profile examples, so that you can see how people are using it and get the most out of it. So let's start with why. Obviously, I'm super biased. I work for the company, but I want to give you some data, some information that you may not know. So LinkedIn has been around since 2003, and our mission is to create economic opportunity for every member of the global workforce. And that's a pretty high and mighty and lofty goal. Most people don't realize how we actually earn our revenue. So I'm going to ask you all, anybody on here, I would love for you to drop it in the chat or shout it out. How do you think LinkedIn generates revenue? Like, what do you think our business model is? Anybody want to guess? Somebody guess, or else I'm going to be feel really. Amy, oh my gosh. Amy nailed it on the head. Amy, did you cheat? Just out of curiosity. Did you Google this? Did you know I was going to ask that question ahead of time? Well done. By the way, very few people know that recruiters is our business line. Ads, Microsoft pays for it. That's hilarious. Microsoft owns LinkedIn, but that is not how we earn our revenue. So recruiters. We also have a big advertising vertical now. So Eric, you are not wrong at all. Hannah as well. Ads. We don't sell our data. We have some products that allow you to get some insights, Terry, but really the biggest thing is recruiters. And the reason why I bring this up is because the way the business model works is that corporate America and those that are trying to find talent have to pay for access to LinkedIn, right? That's how we earn our revenue. And the reason I think it's important is because we now are pretty ubiquitous when it comes to finding talent. So next question I have for you is, what do you think our market share is of Fortune 500 companies? What percentage of Fortune 500 companies do you think pay LinkedIn to find you? What do you think our market share is in 2022? Anybody want to guess? Upwards of 60? Eric? Yeah, but it's higher than 60. Higher than 60%. Anybody else want to drop a guess in there? 80. 95 is very close. It's 97%. 97% of Fortune 500 companies pay LinkedIn to find you. I want to just sit on that for a second, right? Because I love the company and I'm biased, but what is not biased is our facts. And when I tell you that 97%, that's kind of unheard of market share. 97% pay us to find you. 90% of corporate recruiters are doing that. In California in general, what percentage of working Californians do you think today have LinkedIn profiles? What do you think? How many people what percentage of working Californians have LinkedIn profiles today? What do you think that percentage is? 75, 40, more than 80. Rashma, you're right. It is 92%. 92%. So what that means is today in 2022, LinkedIn is ubiquitous when people are thinking about where they want to go in their career. It's no longer a matter of if people are going to be looking at your profile. It's a fact that people are going to look at your profile whether they're recruiters, hiring managers, the decision makers. Because if you're going to go through an interview process, you're going to be usually interviewing with more than one person. And the deal with LinkedIn is it's easy to find you on LinkedIn. If you know your name, you can just find you on LinkedIn. So what is really important, in my opinion, when we're having these conversations is to let you know that even though LinkedIn is not the easiest thing to use right away, right? It takes a little bit of time and effort to really get to know it and to grow your network. I firmly believe that the time that you put into growing your network on LinkedIn, the time you put into creating your profile and posting content, that will help you, but not just for today or tomorrow, but for the rest of your career, because we're only getting more and more ubiquitous, right? There isn't going to be another Twitter. There isn't going to be another, TikTok or IG. There's not going to be another LinkedIn because we're now at 800 million members. And they're just, once you get to that point in social media, it's kind of like a tipping point. So it's really cool to be part of this organization. And I really love being able to chat with folks like you, just to give you insight into really how best to use LinkedIn. So now I'm going to jump into LinkedIn and share with you best practices and share with you some not tips, but tips on how best to use LinkedIn. You know what? I was asked what percentage of revenue comes from premium. I normally say this, and I don't know why I didn't say it right now. So we have 800 million members, only 3% pay for premium. Premium is not designed for anybody with less than 5 years of work experience. It's not designed for college students. I do not recommend premium. I don't think you need it, to be honest with you. There are some cool features with premium. And if you really want some of those cool features, I would sign up for the 29-day trial or 30-day trial, and I would cancel it because it's expensive. It's $60 a month. So only 3%. It's not a small business line by any stretch, but it is our smallest business line. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen. Thank you for that question, by the way. I should have shared that. It's been a long morning already. I'm off my game. Okay, I am getting myself prepared for you all to ask questions. Drop them in the chat. Happy to answer. And again, you can shout them out. Okay, so let me share with you a couple of profiles. So I'm going to start with Bridget, and I want to hopefully get you all to start thinking about LinkedIn a little bit differently when it comes to your profile. So there are a few things that are important to know. It is not a resume. It is a place for you to start sharing your story. And in my opinion, your story, who you are, is really what separates you from the next person that might have the same exact skills or degree or, whatever that may be, right? And so what you can do here is start framing how the reader understands who you are as a person immediately when they land on your page. So a profile picture is super important. It does not have to be a professional photo. It should be just a headshot. It doesn't, in my opinion, it should be more organic and authentic. Background photo is super important. I love what Bridget does here. She has this quote on this iPad. It says it's time to look inward and start asking yourself the big question, who are you and what do you want? I wonder if anybody of you know, without reading the fine print, what that's from. Anybody know what that's from? It's actually from Avatar: The Last Airbender, which I think is hilarious that she kind of dropped that into her LinkedIn profile. What I really want you all to embrace, hopefully after this conversation, is that you can be yourself. You can talk about what you like to do outside of work and school. You can talk about, adversities you've overcome, all kinds of stuff that you never, ever would think of on LinkedIn and that you would never, ever put on a resume. right? For those of you that are not creative like me, if you go into your profile, you just click on the me and go to view profile. Right here on the back of your profile, you have this pencil. It's on your mobile device as well, where you can actually add a background photo. We have a ton of background photos. And so we have a new feature on the back of LinkedIn where you can identify your ethnicity and your gender to help for diversity, equity, and inclusion. You can show you're an ally to the disabled community, the Latino community, Asian, Black Lives Matter, LGBTQ. So you can quickly and easily start representing things that you're passionate about on LinkedIn. And then if we move to the next thing, here's a headline. And in my opinion, this is where a lot of people will just put where they're currently working, right? Or what they're currently doing. But that's not really what the headline is about. The headline is a way for you to differentiate yourself and start showcasing your personality immediately. So if you aren't in a job that you want right now, you can talk more aspirationally, right? You can use this as a place to, what's your favorite saying? What's your favorite quote, right? You can use this as a place to put your favorite saying or favorite quote. Think about it, like the first thing that a recruiter sees or hiring manager sees or a person trying to connect with you. What do they see? They see your background photo and your headline, your picture. When you're trying to grow your network on any social media, like on any social, when you're connecting with people, that they have to approve your connection request, right? In LinkedIn, you can follow people all you want without them approving you, but to connect with somebody, they have to approve that connection request. And what do people do before they approve a connection request? They're going to check your profile out, right? And so this gives you an opportunity to make your profile much more authentic than what most people do. Now I'm going to go to the about section, which I think this is probably the most difficult thing to when we're talking about this workshop. Couple of big hurdles. One of them is the about section, because this really takes time and effort to think about how do you want people to think about you both inside and outside of work or school. Here, Bridget says, complacency is a continuous struggle we all have to fight. And that's a quote by Jack Nicklaus. And then she goes into, talking about her personal battles with complacency and how she overcome that complacency. Like, that's so much more compelling than what most people do, which is like, I'm passionate about X or Y, right? Or I'm, marketing student looking to do X, Y, Z, right? All of that is okay, but that's not really authentic, and that doesn't really differentiate yourself. And here you have an opportunity to do that, no matter where you are in your career. Trust me, my wife, who's way further along in her career, she put in her profile that she's what did she say? She's like, I don't like to act my age. Who wants to do that anyway? She said, I'm a Disney, Marvel, and Star Wars fan. And, she went on about what she loves to do personally. And not a week later, a recruiter reached out to her and said, I love your about section, and I love that you're a Disney fan. Would love to talk to you. True story, right? What's the first question you get asked in an interview? Anybody? Whoa. That's not the first question you get asked. Tell me about yourself. Thanks, Kib. Tell me about yourself. It could also be whoa. You never know. Somebody might think, whoa. That's not really a question. Tell me about yourself. That is what is the most asked first question. And I think it's, we just got to be honest, realistic, that everybody's human and they want to know who they're working with. And you want to work with people you like. And so that's one thing that is very different about LinkedIn than a resume, where it gives you a voice, gives you an opportunity to share your story, and your story is compelling. Now, if we come over here, underneath the about section is the featured section. The featured section allows you to really market and brand yourself, right? You can upload a video of yourself if you wanted to, talking about where you've been in your career and where you want to go in your career. You can upload projects, you can upload your resume, you can link to posts that you've done on LinkedIn, all kinds of great stuff that you can put. People don't realize that you can literally upload projects onto LinkedIn right here. It's crazy. Let me introduce you to a few more. I'm just going to introduce you to a few more students, or they're not students anymore, a few more people and how they've used their about section, crafted their about section. Sarah, I met her a few years ago. She tells more of a story about her upbringing. She says, around my neck on a thin red cord, a tiny jade lock and key was placed by her parents in China. And then she talks about what the necklace symbolizes for her. And then I love this line right here, the sentence where she says, my positive and upbeat attitude derives from the gift I was given when I was adopted at the age of 2.5 years old. That's, I think, really powerful. It's really compelling to be talking about your story and who you are and where you come from. Let me show you Tammy. Oops. Tammy, I love this. She says she's a new grad aiming to tell stories through technology. And then here she says, when I was 7, Harry Potter taught me English when I first immigrated to the Bay Area. She talks about, how teaching herself English, she being obsessed with these stories are told. And then I love this line right here where she says, I want to connect individuals to something bigger than themselves, the way Harry Potter colored my world with magic and taught me the basis I need to achieve the American dream. Like, how, before today, would you think that you'd be talking about being an immigrant or, being adopted or Harry Potter on your LinkedIn profile? Probably not, right? You probably didn't think that you'd be putting that on your profile and somebody from LinkedIn would be telling you that. But I'm going to tell you, this makes a difference because we all are people and we all have likes and interests. And that's more interesting than your experience, because guess what? Nobody can teach you how to be resilient, right? Nobody can teach resiliency. Nobody can teach hard work, dedication, perseverance, positive attitude. That's not really teachable. That's kind of innate. That's who you are. So you have an opportunity to really showcase your personality, and that will make a difference for you. I got a question in the chat. What metrics do you have that this makes a difference? Well, quite frankly, it is anecdotal. I've been doing this for 6 years, and I've been coaching a lot of students, and the students I coach have all been able, not all of them, but most of them have been able to get fantastic jobs. The more that people are authentic and use all of the stuff we talk about, the better jobs they get. I mean, Tammy just got hired by Disney to do the job of her dreams, literally in April. And Sarah got her first job at Google, now at Microsoft. Those were her dream jobs. Bridget's at Google. But more than that, in our recruiting tool, we can tell metrics. So there are some metrics that show that the more complete your profile is, the more time that recruiters spend on that profile, and the more often you're getting outreach when you have more information on your profile. So the more complete your profile is, the more information you have on your profile, the better chance you have for a recruiter to actually reach out to you. Yeah. I got a question about what's not proper to be mentioned in your about. I'll be candid with you. Again, I've seen lots of profiles and I've never seen somebody put something that's not appropriate. I think there's this common thing about professionalism, and you put the word professional, sorry for doing air quotes, and it, like, professional needs to be a certain thing. I mean, look, professionalism is being yourself. Professionalism is having a work-life balance or well-being, mental well-being. I mean, being professional is, whatever you make of it. So to answer your question, I don't think you should put, I love to party and drink beer all the time. Obviously, that might not be professional, but talking about what you love to do outside of work is really okay, and it makes a difference. So the idea here is really just to be yourself. I think that's being yourself is professional. So I hope that makes a difference, and I hope that explains how you can craft your profile in a little bit differently. Does anybody else have any questions about the LinkedIn profile and how to make it stand out? I got a question here from Alex about past experience being in food service jobs. And I really, really appreciate this question, because in my opinion, this is exactly where LinkedIn can differentiate you from a resume, right? On a resume, you have to put your jobs, your past jobs, your current job. And so if you're going for a clinical psychology position, they're going to be looking at going, oh my gosh, he doesn't have any internships. But I'm not speaking for you. I'm going to speak for myself. When I was in school, I had to work while I was going to school. I had to work full time, help my parents. I'm the first person from my family to go to school. And even though I had a scholarship through the Navy to go to school, it's the only way I could afford it, I still had to work a lot. So I didn't do internships. I didn't get to do internships. Well, before LinkedIn, you couldn't explain that, but now you could do that on your about section. Working my way through college has taught me this. Within your work experience, what does working in the server as a server teach you? Well, it teaches you a lot. It teaches you a lot. You don't really necessarily need to put what skills you get as a server, although you could, but you could talk about how that has shaped you, right? You learn customer service, time management, dealing with difficult people, all of this stuff, right? Doing this role has taught me this. I love working for this company because of this, and this. This is what is missed on LinkedIn. People think it needs to be just like your resume. And I'm just telling you right now, it doesn't. It doesn't, because the more information you put in your LinkedIn profile, the more likely you'll be found by a recruiter. It's a fully searchable database. Are recruiters going to look at every single word of your profile? Absolutely not. Nobody looks at every single word of your resume either. But resumes are not compelling. Your story is compelling, very compelling. And so that's what I would do if I were you. I would shape your story, put your about section. Here's what I've been doing through my career. Here's where I want to go in my career. The more that you confront that and think about how you want to people to know about it and how you want to shape that experience, I think the better. I got a question on the skills assessments. Recruiters do look at those skills assessments. We are trying to get, we're adding more of them. It is a clearly definitive way to see if somebody has the right skills when they hire. And we're actually moving to more of a skills first model. So you're going to see much more about skills. So it does make a difference. Recruiters most certainly look at them. Yeah. Can we put project team experience under the experience section, or does it need to be in a separate organization section? That is up to you. I think if you have a project or team experience and you have a leadership role in that project or team, even if it's volunteer, it's on campus, I would put it in the experience section. I have a ton of students that have done that, tons. And in the experience section, nowhere does it say it has to be paid. Nope. So absolutely put it under there. And if you want to put it in the organization section as well, that's fine. But in my opinion, you should put it in your experience section. I got another question here. This might be more relevant when you talk about networking, but what are your thoughts on LinkedIn creating a personal website through LinkedIn? I need to know a little bit more about that. To be perfectly candid, and I'll talk a little bit about what you can do with networking, but as far as, creating your own personal website and linking it through there, I totally agree. Yeah, having an additional personal website and additional LinkedIn, that sounds great. It depends on what you're trying to do with that personal website. If you're in the creative field, that might be a great idea because you can really do more with a personal website than you can do with your LinkedIn page. But truth be told, like, for example, really good question, Amy. Right here in contact info, right? You can actually bring up your contact info, and I'll just do it on me because I don't want to show you Tammy's. If we go to my contact info section, right, there's where that you can put your profile, you can put a link to an external website, but this is buried. Like, how many people are going to click on this and then go into your website? It's not as relevant, and it doesn't happen as often, although you can put it there. I would recommend you also put it in your featured section, because guess what? In your featured section, you can link. You can link to external content. You can upload your own media in here. So totally think it's worthwhile, but I would definitely have a lot of great content from your personal website on LinkedIn. Yeah. Skill seems hard to judge objectively. Look, I totally agree with you. Anybody can put what skill that they have, but trust me, the more skills you have on LinkedIn, the more likely you're going to get found. And if you do the skills assessment, the more likely you're going to be competent at that skill. So I get where you're coming from. Keyworders, do recruiters find our profiles by keyword? Yes. I would not try to do keyword dumps. People can see that quickly and easily, but recruiters are looking for more than just keywords. We know that for a fact. They're looking for the right skills. They're looking for the right personality. I was talking to a VP of talent acquisition, or actually, he's a VP of this company that actually places about 3,000 people in jobs a year. And he said that what he's told by all the recruiters that are using his company is that they're looking for two things: attitude and aptitude, not just aptitude. So yeah. So I think, the thing I hope that you take from our conversation today is to flip this narrative on its head, where you are kind of like begging for a job and let me write the right words on my profile, my resume, so that I get picked up. Flip that on its head. Be yourself, put yourself out there on LinkedIn, tell your story, tell your truth, and network so you can find opportunity comes to you. You don't have to try to say the right words. I don't think anybody should be trying to say the right words to get a job. I think you just put out there, shape and frame your personal and professional experience in such a way that's compelling and gives you the most opportunity to have people reach out to you and say hi and interview you. Yeah, that's what I would do. People transitioning. This is again something else how you use the about section. If I'm transitioning from one role to another, I am actually absolutely using my LinkedIn profile to showcase that. Just telling you 100%, I would be showcasing my LinkedIn profile if I were you, to showcase my transition. That's what I would do. So it's super important to think about LinkedIn again as a way for you to shape what people think of you when they get to your page, when you get to your LinkedIn page. Here's where I am today. Here's where I was yesterday. Here's where I want to go. Here's what I like to do outside of work. All of those things. That's what I would do if I were you. If you're looking for a job for the first time, again, all of these things, again, I mainly coach undergrad students that are all looking for their first internship or the first full-time job. I'm telling you the same thing I'm telling them. You've got to just think about LinkedIn as social media. We all use social media in one way or another. And everybody knows TikTok and Insta, and hopefully you're not on Facebook, but if you are, cool. Nobody taught you how to do those. Look, I know I'm biased, right? But LinkedIn is the only place for you to actually plant seeds with other professionals and grow your network so that you have opportunity come to you for the rest of your life. You have the opportunity to gain, to actually help other people too. So I'm just saying that the more that you engage with LinkedIn, the more that you put on your profile, the more that which we're going to go to my next step, which is growing your network. The larger your network, the more often you post content or you comment on content, the more that the network will work for you. That's just a fact. That's just a fact. And that's how social media works. I mean, let's just think about what life was like for old farts like me pre, social media. We used to have to go to a want ad, look at a newspaper, go to a want ad, print up our resume, put it in an envelope and send it out and hope that somebody would actually respond to your mail and reach out to you for an interview. Today, there are 800 million members on LinkedIn. When in human history has anybody been able to just post content and have 10,000, 20,000, 30,000 people look at it? Never before until social media. That's what people miss with LinkedIn. Everybody's comfortable with going to TikTok and all these other social media platforms and letting influencers post and do all that stuff. And people think of social media and they think of free, fun, all this, that's LinkedIn is professional social media. It's professional connection, professional networking at a scale that's never been seen. And that's how you're going to get your job, in my opinion. That's how you're going to get your job. Is there a way for university recruiters for a specific company to search? Is there a way to find university recruiters? Okay. So here's my opinion when trying to connect with recruiters. Don't connect with recruiters. The three of the students I've coached are now recruiters. Google, Microsoft, LinkedIn. They are inundated with people trying to connect with them. They see right through it. I will show you and I will tell you how one of the people that is now a recruiter at LinkedIn, how she got her job through a recruiter. And I'll show you her story in just a second. And it was brilliant. I don't think connecting with recruiters is the best way to go. Does narrowing down your industry or interest on your about page go against you for applying jobs? I don't think so. I think narrowing down is fine. I really do. You know, there's so much opportunity out there. I really do think you can narrow it down. But again, it's your story. All right, real quickly, I want to show you how to use our alumni page, and then I'm going to go to and I'm going to share with you, Ahmed, I'm going to share with you about the recruiter thing. I always tell that story. I think it's important. So when you go to the alumni page right here, every single college or university in the States, pretty much so everyone in, I'll just say everyone in the world, but we got 130,000 of them on LinkedIn, has a school page. When you click on the school page, you'll see the alumni tab. Under the alumni tab, here you have 206,000 alumni, and we tell you where they live, where they work, what they do for a living, what they studied. So somebody drop in the chat a company they would love to work for. And I want to just go on the fly and show you what you can do with this. You can see here, you've got Google is your top one, Amazon, Apple, we got Sony, Amazon. So Amazon and Apple are already here. So let's do Sony or Corning. I'm going to do Corning because Corning is a smaller, I'm sure there are not as many people there. I might be wrong. Maybe there are a ton of people there. Let's do Owens Corning. Is that it? Owens Corning? So we actually only have one person at Owens Corning, and I'm going to drop down here and I'm going to show you, this is the person, and you would actually click on that profile. I can't really show you that profile because they haven't given me permission to. Everybody else I'm showing you has given me permission, so I can't really show you that profile. But if we went to, for example, McKinsey, and I'm going to go back to Corning real quickly to show you how you can use it, even though you only have one person there. So McKinsey has 78. So you can come down here, again, I'll click on their profiles. When you click on their profile, you can actually connect with them. And what I would do is you do a message within the connection request. You send a personalized invite. The system will ask you, do you want to personalize the invite? You say yes, right? Who are you? Why are you connecting? Right? Hi, my name is David. I'm a current student at UCSD, or I just graduated from UCSD. I noticed you went there too. Do you mind joining my network? Or do you have 5 minutes for an informational interview? Something like that. Short and sweet. 5 connection requests a day, 5 days a week. How long do you think it's going to take you to have 500 members, 500 connections? The power of social media is not in your first degree connections, it's in your second and your third, and so on. If you have 500 first degree connections and each one of those 500 people has 500 in their network, that means you're 1 degree away from 250,000 people. That's where LinkedIn, like this is where LinkedIn crushes it. This is where social media crushes it. It's just bananas what you can do when you grow your network. And you can do this for any company. We've got Intuit in there. Intuit definitely has it, right? There are 322 people that are working at Intuit. So you could literally drill down it even further and you could be like, holy crap. So obviously it's in San Diego. So there are 222 in San Diego. So you could literally over the next few months, try to meet with people that are working at Intuit in person and do a coffee chat with them. I was talking to actually a woman, and it was her husband who lost his job, and because they had to move. Actually, she had to move to San Diego. And so, so she told me that what her husband did, and this was pre-COVID, of course, all he did was went on LinkedIn and tried to set up coffee chats. And he said, do you mind if I buy you coffee? I'd love to talk to you about what life is like at your role. And by the 10th coffee chat, they hit it off. A week later, he had a job there. So, the sky's the limit. It's so different now. I'll show you, and I'll share with you another one. Before I do that, I'm going to go over here to Corning because I want to show you how to, Corning Incorporated.
It's actually the Corning Incorporated.
This one?
Yeah.
There we go. So we'll go to Corning Incorporated, right? And so every big company has a company page. Guess what's on their company page? A people tab. So we tell you, so this is a different way to go connect with people. So in this case, instead of saying what they do, it's like here, we can actually go to UCSD and see. There we go. So we got 4 people, right? That went to UCSD working here. But you could also be like, you know what? I'm really just looking for people. If anybody's living in San Diego, let's see, 20 people are living in San Diego. Boom, you can reach out to them, whatever the commonality is. Or You're trying to find people that do a certain job. I want to be in engineering. I want to be in sales. I mean, look how easy this is. This is a gold mine. This is like so easy to use. And you can literally do it on your phone, your mobile device, literally 5 minutes a day. I mean, literally, how long did it take me to do this? That's the power of social media. That's the power of growing your network. If you do this and you grow your network, it will help you. Just unequivocally, it will help you. Outside of corporate America, what's your understanding of how nonprofits and government agencies work with recruiters? So I sell now not only LinkedIn Learning, but I sell our talent, our recruiting solution. I'll give you all a little bit of back end into our recruiter. This is what the back end, this is what recruiter looks like. And you have the ability to search for our advanced filters. These are all the things that you can search on LinkedIn. See how powerful it is? It's just crazy. The reason why I'm bringing this up is because we also sell to government agencies and nonprofits, and they are all using LinkedIn now, all of them. So colleges, governments, nonprofits. One of the big reasons for this is because of the huge shift in demographics, right? Gen Z and millennials. Millennials are our largest workforce. Boomers, all retiring. Very few boomers as a percentage of the workforce are left in the workforce. Millennials and Gen Z, they use LinkedIn and they get social media, and they also are not staying at their jobs nearly as long as Gen Xers and boomers. So what is happening for these older, when I say older, I say thinking of colleges, governments, not necessarily nonprofits, but college and governments that have always wanted to do things the same way. I'm going to post a job and I'm going to let people, see the job on my job board and come apply. It ain't working. It's not working in 2022. I'm not saying it'll never work again, but I'm just saying it ain't working in 2022. You gotta socialize that. You've got to let thousands and thousands of people see that before they click on apply, and you've got to reach out to people. So LinkedIn is growing at 40% year over year organically, 40% organic growth. And that's because people are coming to us because they need our tools to find people. Yeah. So it's crazy. Yeah. So it's crazy. It's just nuts. All right. Any questions about growing your network? Any questions? Okay. I want to show you another success story here with Ariana. She actually went to San Diego State University, and I met her when she was a junior. And I want to share with you how she got these two jobs. She let me share her story. When you think about recruiters, I think about trying to connect with recruiters. That's a question I get asked all the time. What she did instead. So when I met her, she just kind of fell in love with LinkedIn, and she's like, I really want to work for LinkedIn when I graduate. It is not easy to get a job here. It is very difficult to get a job here. Between July 1st and December 31st of last year, we had 1 million people apply for 4,800 jobs. She got the job right around that time, and we began hiring tons of people. Here's how she got the job. She followed recruiters at LinkedIn. She did not connect with them. She followed them. And whenever they posted content, guess what she did? She liked it and commented. She used it like social media, and she treated them like influencers. And so instead of trying to connect with them, which they see right through that, she added value to every one of their posts. Guess what? After 2 months, what happens when somebody keeps posting on your profile? When people keep posting on your comments, you notice that, because recruiters are not rock stars. And when they post content, they don't have thousands and thousands of people posting content. They usually have just 5 or 10, if that. So our recruiter clicked on her profile, gets to see all the stuff we talked about, how she shaped her profile. And the recruiter at LinkedIn reached out to her and said, we think you might be a good fit. I noticed your profile. Why don't you apply? And now she works at LinkedIn. Think about the difference. Think about the difference in that approach. You're adding value to what the recruiter does. You're not asking for help. You're not asking for information. You're seeing what she's posting or he's posting, and you're actually contributing to the feed, not asking for anything in return. That's the power of LinkedIn. That's the power of social media. And that's how you recruit. That's how you do it. And I've been doing this for 6 years, and I've never heard of anybody doing that. She did that I didn't even tell her to do that. I would love to take credit for that. she did it on her own. So I tell everybody now. Got a question in the chat. Wow, congrats, Anthony. Very, very cool. So that is a really awesome story. So one of the things that I think most people do not use, I know people don't use, is the video feature. All right, because people think of LinkedIn, it's a professional platform, and you've got CEOs and executives and VPs, and so people are like, I don't really want to post myself out there. What I think is missing is this use of the actual video tool where you can upload video. So in your case, you might want to create your profile, talk about this accomplishment in your about section, right? I would want to frame it as more than just one thing, but kind of frame everything that you've been doing. I love that you're high school film teacher and all that, like giving back, blah, blah, blah. And then you can put that in your featured section and you can record a video. I mean, if you're a film teacher, you should have great video content. Put that on LinkedIn. People are going to see it. Put it in your feed. So we'll go, thank you for this nice warm lead into step 3 of what we were talking about, or step 4. Posting content. Look at this. You can literally add a video. You can tag people. You won the grant from the director of the Avengers franchise. You can tag that director literally on LinkedIn. That's what I'm talking about. People don't think about LinkedIn as social media. You could literally put that on there and frame it. Really proud to have been able to do this, blah, blah, blah. You frame it however you want to frame it in a social media post. And then if you are looking to blow it up, and why are you looking to blow it up, right? You want it to lead somewhere for you, right? Let's take you as an example. If you go, or actually, I'll go back to Tammy, right? Like, Tammy's experience here, Tammy actually was a marketing intern, and she did all of the, not all of them, but she worked on the social media posting and branding for Warner Brothers for the new Batman movie, right? Where else can you connect with those types of people? Nowhere else. If I'm you, I'm on LinkedIn. I'm trying to connect with as many people that are in entertainment as possible, and I'm putting out there on LinkedIn your goods. You have talent, obviously. That's how you use LinkedIn. You see what I'm getting at? This is what's missed with LinkedIn, is people think of it as a resume and a job board. Okay, you have jobs, and you can go to our job board and you can apply for jobs, yes. And you can just upload your resume, yes. But that's not even it's not cutting it. It's not changing the game, right? So that's really the power of LinkedIn. So I hope that answers your question. I got a question about how to find recruiters. So the easiest way to find recruiters would be to find a company that you're of interest to you, right? So let's just say, we'll just take Netflix. Netflix, come on, spell it right, Ryan. We go to Netflix, come over here, and then you go to the People tab, and then you just type in recruiter, boom. So this will search every single word of the LinkedIn profile. So there are 322 recruiters, and then what I would do is I'd go over here and go into HR, boom. So you know that if they're in HR 253, and you can scroll down here and you can connect with them, boom, 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 boom. And then you could even go even further and see if there are any that have gone to UCSD. 3. How do you like that? So in 3, I did in what, 2 minutes? I was able to find 3 recruiters that work at Netflix that have gone to UCSD. Boom. Mic drop. I would drop a mic, but if they're not going to see through it, also, if I comment on are they not going to see through it if I comment on their post? Look, if you're commenting on a post and you're just like, hey, I love this post. This is a great post. I love this post. Okay, maybe they'll see through it. You got to think about why you're commenting on the post, right? I mean, you got to think about it. Like, what are they posting, and try and make a comment that makes sense. So yeah, I guess if you're not giving back and you're not doing anything of any substance, that's Jenna, great question. We need to add that to Zoom. If you're not adding any substance to the conversation, that's pretty obvious, but hopefully you can add substance to the conversation, right? That's the deal. Congratulating people on accomplishments, when they're posting information about jobs, sharing that, right? That's the type of stuff that you want to do. See what I'm saying? Yeah. And you can always tag people, right? You can always tag people. So if you're doing a post, you can literally be like, here, I'm going to tag Ariana. I mean, it's social media. What do you think? And then you can grab some other content. I'll just come over here. I'll just do this. I always bring in this as an example, but let's say you're linking to an external website. It brings in that thumbnail image, and then you can actually delete this portion. You can throw in hashtags, right? So this is how you use social media. This is how everybody uses other social media. People don't use this on LinkedIn. So when you are commenting on people's posts, you should be thinking about what they're saying and articulating that back and making it a valuable ad. And if you do that, nobody's going to see through that, because hopefully you're doing it altruistically. You're not doing it just to try to, get a job. How professional should we keep our comments, interactions? Yeah, you know what? Here's the deal, right? This idea of professional, I think, is just, again, I don't know if I touched on it before, but I think it's really restrictive, right? I mean, just be yourself, right? Be authentic, and your conversations are going to be better, right? Most people, especially older people that have been on LinkedIn for a long time, they think that it's a bad thing to be more conversational and be more social on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn believes that that's the opposite of the truth. We get more places in life when we have a network, and when we share, and when we collaborate. That's what happens. I know personally, I've only had 2 jobs in my life where I haven't had somebody help me get that job. And one of them was the Navy. That doesn't count. They take everybody. So, I just think that you'll see what people post and how they comment, and then you'll feel more comfortable commenting. Yeah. So that's it. I've kind of covered high level the 3 things I wanted to cover, right? I wanted to cover your profile and really making it more conversational, and making it more about you and who you are personally and professionally. I showed you how to grow your network. Again, using the Alumni tab and actually connecting with people that work at the company of interest to you, super, super important. Following people of influence, super, super important. Commenting on their stuff. And then I showed you how to post content. Posting content is probably the highest bar. I can tell you that if you post one of your own posts per week, one of something of your own content, or you share somebody else's content, one per week, you are doing more than 99.5% of all people on LinkedIn. And that makes a difference. And we do have analytics on that one. We know within the LinkedIn tool, recruiter tool I showed you, you can tell who posts content and who doesn't. And we know the people that post more content, they get more job offers. So the more that you're engaged on LinkedIn, the more often you use it, the better. Yeah. Yeah, I love the fact that you're connecting on LinkedIn. Everybody dropping in the chat. I love this. This is brilliant. Definitely connect with one another. You all are more than welcome to connect with me. Here, let me drop my name in the chat. If you want to connect with me, let me go ahead and put it in here. Boom. Cool. We have 10 minutes left. I can keep rambling on and on, but does anybody else have any questions or comments? Any discount premium? No, I would sign up for 30 days, like I said, and cancel that. Premium is really expensive. So I don't know that's really necessary. You get more email messages. You get to see who looks at your profile. That's kind of cool. But quite frankly, it's, I don't know that it's super useful. In terms of cold contacting, any advice? Yeah, I think you have to have a commonality. So, so I talked to a student, let me introduce you to him. His name is Julius. So he is, geez, Ryan. He's currently going to Diablo Valley College. He's got this interesting internship with LinkedIn right now. And he told me the story, and I want to share it with you about cold contacting with people. He did only 5 connection requests over the past 3 weeks, 5 connection requests a week. And he's had 3 informational interviews. And what he does, because he doesn't do a ton of connection requests, is when he goes into the profile, he looks through the profile and tries to find something of commonality. And if they've posted content, he's mentioned, hey, I saw this content you posted the other day, blah, 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 right? Or I see that you've had a lot of success in this career and would love to understand how you got there, right? Anytime you can stroke somebody's ego or actually show that you've taken more than 1 or 2 seconds to connect with them, that is going to help people actually reach out to you. So that's what I would do, Anthony. I'm in sales, and the thing we're taught is to try to really show why you're reaching out to somebody, right? Who you are and why you're reaching out. That's the deal. And if you can actually add more value than that, then you want to do that. Do I offer coaching services? I don't, and that's because I don't have the bandwidth, but also LinkedIn, we're not allowed to do that. Yeah. I can definitely, you're more than welcome to connect with me and DM me, and I'm happy to give you coaching advice, like just, message and stuff like that, because I really enjoy doing this, but I don't do that because I like my job. Anthony, basically like online dating, not that you do that. Yeah, you can maybe think of it that way, but I like to think of it more as just, being able to grow your network, your professional network. And really, again, I'll show you one thing that I posted the other day, right? And how social media is different when we're thinking about LinkedIn. So I'm going to go over here to my post. And so what I did here is, wait a minute. My posts, there we go. This is a job opportunity we had for a content coordinator internship. This is about a month ago. So this job's obviously no longer open, but here's the power of LinkedIn and when you think of it, social media, right? I now have a lot of people in my network, and a lot of those people are students. So all I did is I shared this and I just wrote, calling all students here, doing some hashtags. 5,000 people got to see this that never would have known about this content coordinator internship. That's what LinkedIn is. It's crazy. Yeah. Thanks, Roxy. Totally use UCSD. They've got great coaches there. What to do with the take the skills quiz in the skills section over here. So the skills assessment, this is brand new. We're working on making it better, but we've had a lot of feedback that when you take this skills assessment and you pass it, it does help, differentiate you in the marketplace. But, it's all us trying to use our analytics to help our members get where they want to go with their career. Yeah. Any other questions? I don't understand the if I fail comment. Hopefully you won't fail.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, if you fail the skills quiz.
Yeah.
Oh, nobody sees that.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, nobody sees that. Yeah, yep. I believe you won't fail. I believe you will crush it. But if you don't pass it, you don't have to post it either. Yeah. There you go. Roxy's offering it. You failed once, no big deal. There you go. Yeah, David, I was the same boat. I mean, to be perfectly candid, I had no idea how to use LinkedIn until I started working here. I was like everybody else, and I'm like, I have my job. I don't need LinkedIn. Tired of social media. I don't need LinkedIn, and I was totally wrong. So it's not a big deal for most people. But if you're not in a place in your career where you want to be, or you always want to keep your options open. And here's another thing, right? And I'm just going to stop sharing real quickly. But, you know, Gen Z, we've done a lot of research, and Gen Z is not Gen Z. Yeah, Gen Z, I'm sorry, changing their jobs way more often than my generation. And what is a fact is that people are getting paid more money when they change jobs. And now it's coming out that if you stay at your job over 5 years, you're actually most of the time doing yourself a disservice. So my wife is a good example of this. She was working for a company for 4.5 years, a financial service, big financial services company in sales. And they would not promote her. They would not give her a promotion because they just wanted her to basically travel a lot more than she was willing to travel, even during COVID. And so we talked about it, and I'm like, you're underpaid. You need to put on LinkedIn that you're ready to work. So within 3 months, Oracle came and picked her up. She went from financial services company to Oracle. She got a 50% pay raise, 50% pay raise by going from that company to Oracle. Now, Oracle didn't work out, wasn't great, wasn't the end of the world, but the bottom line is that the territory they gave her wasn't great. Guess who came knocking on her door? Same company she worked for. And she got a 40% pay raise going back. And she's only been at Oracle for 7 months. So I'm not advocating jumping ship. What I am saying is that we know that corporate America, I mean, you now have opportunity. If you are on LinkedIn regularly, you have opportunity literally knocking at your door. How often does that happen? It doesn't. Now it does. If you use LinkedIn, and even if you're a job you like and you enjoy, you also are giving yourself opportunity for the rest of your future. So just keep that in mind. It's crazy. What kind of content can I start posting? You know, here's the deal with content is I think you can start with your accomplishments. I think you can start with your failures, things you've overcome, things that you've read. Just what I would do if I were you and you're not super accustomed to posting content is really just start getting in the feed and commenting on people's posts first, sharing other people's content first. That's a big deal. And then you'll start seeing what kind of things you want to post. But it's all across the board. I hope that helps. All right. Roxy, anything else? Anything I missed?
No, I think we're all good, Ryan. I just want to, again, thank you for your valuable time. I know you're really busy. And I also want to say thanks to the Career Center, UC San Diego's Career Center, UCSD's Extended Studies, and LinkedIn for collaborating on this event. We hope to see you again on campus. I remember years ago you came and did a program for over 100 students. So, you know, we'll hopefully we have you back on campus again soon.
Yeah, we can make it happen.
Okay, let's stay connected on LinkedIn. Thank you, Ryan.
Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Everybody, please take an opportunity to connect with Ryan online. You have his LinkedIn. And Katie Pham, she's one of the counselors at UCSD Career Center. If you are a student, please connect with her. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks, everybody.
Take care. Thank you.